Just like to welcome everybody again to kind of our second episode of Commit to Be Fit, which is sponsored by Consiglio Wellness Center. I'm Mike Hagerty, and alongside we've got Casey Haase and Sherri Bennett, and we're just going to talk a little bit about what's going on in everybody's life right now, and maybe bring up a few other items, including our event that we have coming up here in June. So I'll just kick it off by asking Sherri, you first, if you don't mind. Tell us a little bit about what's going on at the Consiglio Wellness Center. I know obviously with the coronavirus, everybody's kind of taken a different path. So maybe give us a little update on what's going on in your world and what's happening at the center.
Yeah, thank you. So at the clinic, we have offered telemedicine as an alternative to in-person visits, and that has been a really huge hit. It still offers some face-to-face, so we can at least have that connection, and that's been super helpful. We also have increased some of our visits lately with some of our bus drivers and aides that have been coming by to get their physicals to get ready for next year. So, which is always an exciting time, thinking about getting ready for the next school year already. So that's pretty much what's been going on at the clinic.
Absolutely. Casey, how about you? What's up?
Yeah, so we're still doing virtual classes for Beyond Fitness. So we have a lot of ladies signing in, doing classes online, and then we're preparing to open here in a few weeks. We are going to open up our facility with limited clients coming in, and of course cleaning and all that jazz. Although we will be opening, we actually are still going to continue the virtual offerings as well. We just, we've been lucky to see women coming in from all over. And so it just seems like it's been working well. And, Sherri, you're on vacation or you're at the lake, and think about you still want to get a workout in, we can still give that to you, but it's at where you're located. So
I love it.
And hopefully as we move forward in the summer, we'll have some good news to bring about, to where some of our classes at the CWC, at least kind of predicting where we're going to be going later in the summer and the fall. And I know that everybody, especially in the private sector, is really considering their options in regards to safe, the safe environment, and making sure that people feel comfortable about coming into either a studio or whether we get back into the aquatic center at the XY in Blue Springs. All of those things are really important, and I know that Casey, you're making some certain provisions to make sure that those kind of things are addressed so that people are comfortable when they come back in. Can you share some of those with us?
yeah, so when people come back to the gym at Beyond, we actually will be limited with how many people we're going to welcome into the space. We actually will have stations set up, so we'll have each person will have their own suspension trainer with their own equipment, so we're not going to be sharing equipment and all of that. And so it's going to be really like designated so they can stay in one spot, feel comfortable, and all that jazz. And then we have all the cleaning product we need.
There you go. And I'm sure that we will be transferring a lot of those procedures when we get into working out at the aquatic center later on. We can apply some of those principles, and I know that it takes a lot of work to make sure that stuff gets taken care of, but in order for us to make people feel comfortable about coming out in public again, those are considerations we have to make.
Yeah.
How about you all self personally? How's things going in regards to your own workouts, nutrition? Are there any new things that you're trying during this time that you've kind of incorporated into your own personal profiles? Give us some updates on anything in there. Whether it is, like I say, workout, nutrition, doesn't matter. Are you trying anything new?
So I actually tried a juice cleanse. I was really lucky. There is a local company in Blue Springs that has juice. Garden of Peace, I think is what her business is called. And so we did a one-day juice cleanse. I made it all the way until the end, and I was just starving. My biggest mistake though was I'm a woman that when I get anxious, my coping mechanism is to move, and I was starting to get hungry, and so I'm like, I'm gonna go for a walk. And you just really, as you're getting towards the end of that, we shouldn't have been walking and moving as much. I should have done more of a restorative, which I knew, but I just was like, I have to keep moving. And then after I did that, I got a little bit woozy, and then I'm like, I'm gonna eat.
Well, let me ask you this real quick. Couple things maybe you can build onto that. But my question being is that, number one, is this going to be something that you would return to? Are you building it into a protocol? Was it sort of for experimentation, a challenge? What were you motivated about in order to get to that point to create that challenge?
So it's kind of, I have a really good friend who's also a personal trainer. Her name's Amanda Jackson. And she came to me and said, I want to do a 1-day juice cleanse. And I said, well, we're doing it then. Let's do that. So I'm that friend. So when I went into the juice cleanse, I had zero expectations other than I was just going to do a juice cleanse. And that, I think, also kind of set me up to fail a little bit because I didn't go in researching it or anything. What I will say, though, after doing it, our husbands did it as well, and they were delightful, believe it or not. And we all walked away with, man, this is how we can get more fruits and vegetables, and that's how we probably will start to incorporate it more. All 4 of us walked away with, we need to go purchase this so that we can have them in our house all the time. So,
Good deal. So in other words, in your mind, the benefit is that at least if you're introducing those phytonutrients and things in, maybe at an abundance that you haven't really experienced in the past with the juice cleanse like that.
yeah. And I honestly have never even thought about doing a juice cleanse. And so I think, next time if I were to go into it, I definitely would go through it a little bit more mindfully than just ripping the Band-Aid off. But I did enjoy it, and most of the juice was very delightful. So.
One last question on that. When you came out of your juice cleanse, what was your re-entry? You said that you were pretty hungry. Were you mindful about what you took in, or was this just like, hey, I'm fathomed, I've got to eat something, and it doesn't matter? Because I think that's always a big issue when people come out of a cleanse or coming out of a fast. It's those questions are always out there, like, what is it that I should eat? And I've had a lot of discussion with my clients over the last several years in that regard about what do I do if I fast? What kind of foods do I put back in? Because you don't want to destroy the efforts that you put into it to begin with, right?
Yeah. So it's funny because Jonathan and I pretty much usually eat pretty healthy anyways. We try to stick with whole foods. So when I decided to eat, I actually could smell. I felt like my sense of smell was so heightened. Like I was just like, I can smell everything. But I just stuck to cashews. I was like, I want to eat everything. And I'm like, nope, I know. So I just did a handful of cashews to kind of start breaking that fast. We did have like red meat for dinner. So that was probably not as favorable after that. Especially that was, she says to stay with chicken usually when you're coming out of that. But we had steak, and then I had some Brussels sprouts, but.
I would say that you erred on the healthy side. So, no harm, no foul. You weren't putting in a lot of, non-essential fats, or the bad fats as we call them. So yeah. It sounds like you managed it pretty well. Sherri, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. I think I was really trying to be mindful of if I was going to break the fast, it wasn't to put a bunch of crap back in me.
Well, good job and congratulations. That's fasting of any kind, whether it's, working with a juice cleanse or whether it's a complete intermittent fast. Those are sometimes challenging, especially the first time out, because you don't know what you're going to really get into. So congratulations. Sherri, I'll shoot it over to you real quick. Lake girl, tell us a little bit about what's happening for you. If you've been doing anything different. Of course, everybody's doing things a little bit different, but anything new for you?
So what we're doing a little bit differently is at the clinic, the other gals and I have been using our lunch hours to do some band work, of which I can thank you, Mike, for that, because you helped us kind of design a little, some easy to follow directions with some stations, some different resistance bands, and which has been great since we all have a different level of fitness and ability. And so we've been doing that pretty regularly, which in our setting has worked out quite well, because we have enough room to do that social distancing and but yet still be, you know, together, working out together. And you know, one of the things about doing something like that at work is you're already there anyway. And so, and it's something that you can easily fit in over a lunch hour. There's that accountability piece, because there's always somebody that's like, you know, let's skip it. Somebody else says, no, let's just go ahead and get it in, or we'll do it, you go ahead, which of course, you know, then everybody jumps in and does it anyway. So we've really found that to be helpful. And something that we were doing kind of before the coronavirus was accessing people like yourself, Mike, as a wellness coach, and Casey as a trainer, and getting, you know, sometimes it's a little overwhelming trying to get something put together, and reaching out to people that have different ideas and different approaches was really helpful for us, trying to figure out something that worked well for our particular group. So anyway, I would just encourage others to consider something like that.
Awesome. Obviously, one of the things that we wanted to talk a little bit about is our Commit to be Fit series that we're going to be implementing over the summer. And, you know, certainly, again, we would love to incorporate PC as much as possible. But Sherri, you and I have talked about this over the course of the last several weeks. We believe that it's really important that people do not give up on their fitness during this time, and even during the summer. Though we work somewhat cyclic with a school calendar year, 9 months, you know, fitness doesn't stop in my mind because it's summer. Obviously, being in the Midwest, it does change a bit with the weather, and there's some things that we can do during the summer that maybe we couldn't do during the winter months. But maintaining different types of fitness programs, and even diet needs change somewhat, you know, seasonally. But we've come to the point where we've come to an agreement, I believe, that it's really important to maintain some sort of presence with our community and continue to grow that community inside of the Consiglio Wellness Center group. And so we're actually initiating the kickoff of our series with a virtual walk and run starting up in June, which will go from June 1 through June 7. People can access information on Eventbrite by just looking up the Consiglio Wellness Center, depending on how you want to run your search. We also have some information posted on Facebook and on our new webpage, and so people can find this information, and essentially you can either run or walk any distance that you choose to, and be a part of the program. So anytime during June, the period of June 1 through June 7th, you can pick a day, a 24-hour period of time, and commit to walking or running a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, or even a full marathon. And we have some conversion tables so that you can use time as you're determining distance. You could use your Garmin or your Fitbit to track your steps and equate that over to the total distance. And so we're kind of excited about this. We feel like, number one, it'll build our community and get people up and moving. And again, we want people to be healthy and fit, you know, and so this is one way to provide those opportunities for people. And we'll try to, you know, continue to pump out more and more information about this. We've set it up so that people can actually pick up T-shirts once they register through the month of May at the CWC or Consiglio Wellness Center on Fridays, at least for the time being. And I think, Sherri, we're open, 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. until noon on Friday. So anytime during that time, they can come pick up their T-shirts and additional information about conversion tables about how far you need to walk in order to complete the 5K, 10K, half, or full marathon, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, right now we're kind of doing an 8 to noon schedule because of the coronavirus. That seems to have worked best for us. But yeah, absolutely. They can come during that time and pick up their info packet and be ready.
And one of the other things too, you know, it's kind of, we're limited about how much information we can probably share in this format. But the other thing is we want it to be very user-friendly. There's no judgment zone, right? Nobody's really, you know, if you want to go 5K, fine. If you want to go 10K, fine. Everybody's going to get an event T-shirt. And we also want to encourage spouses and other, you know, family members as well. And I don't know your thoughts on that, but we certainly always invited those people into the Consiglio Wellness Center anyway. So we felt like this would be a good opportunity. If you've got a couple children that want to get involved, we want them to participate as well if you feel like it's appropriate.
Absolutely. You know, the more the merrier. And I would echo that our fitness and our desire to be well and healthy doesn't end just because school's out for the summer. So this is just a great way to keep it moving, keep it going. And I know as the summer goes on, we've got some other great things in store so that we can keep ourselves active through the entire summer and that way we don't lose any ground.
Absolutely. I think we'll probably close here. Any parting comments before we say goodbye for our second episode? I'll throw it over to you, Casey, real quick. Anything new that you'd like to share or coming up that you've got going on?
Nope, we're just gonna open up the gym here in a few weeks, but we'll still be virtual, so you can jump on wherever you're at.
Okay. And how would somebody access? What's the best way if they want to join your classes?
Yeah, so that's a great point, Mike.
Going, certainly the Consiglio Wellness.
So if you are looking for virtual classes, you can find us through the MindBody app. Just download the app and then search Beyond Fitness there, or you can go to our website, beyondfitnesskc.com, and that will also have some links to get you to classes or even on-demand workouts as well.
Fantastic. Sherri, any departing words before we wrap up?
Yeah, last comments I would just say are after you get registered for our virtual walk, run, and as we get closer to the date, be sure to pick up those t-shirts. And also, when you're actually doing your race walk, be sure that you snap a bunch of pictures and post those on our social media sites. I think it'd be fun to see everybody doing the walk race. Since we can't be together, we gotta be creative. So take pictures, post those so we can cheer you on, and that will help hopefully encourage and inspire others to join in.
All righty. Thanks so much, girls. We'll be back next week, and we'll do the same thing. We'll probably do our recording sometime towards the end of the week, and we'll try to get it out as soon as possible for any updates or things that are happening with the CWC, things that are going on in the general fitness area, just so we can have some good conversation and join in with some friends. So we appreciate everybody tuning in for us, and we'll talk to you next time. So long.